How much more of a person that is doing tyrannical things as he takes our Constitution and continues to trash it? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. You're not going to get away with this. He wants to take power from our Congress. We're marching through 13 hours. I got more in the tank. When is it going to be enough? My voice is inadequate. My efforts today are inadequate to stop what they're trying to do.
Quite emotional there. New Jersey Senator Cory Booker delivering the longest filibuster speech in Senate history this week. He held things up for more than 25 hours, insisting that he cannot afford to be silent with President Trump in charge. With Booker finally finished, the upper chamber can now vote on the resolution reversing President Trump's national emergency at the northern border, which would effectively end his tariffs on Canada. Senators Tim Kaine and Rand Paul introduced the bill. Paul says there's enough Republican votes to pass it. President Trump responded on Truth Social saying this: the Senate bill is just a ploy of the Democrats to show and expose the weakness of certain Republicans. It is not going anywhere because the House will never approve it, and I, as your president, will never sign it. Joining me now is Florida Senator Ashley Moody. Senator, it's great to see you this morning. What was that Cory Booker was doing? I mean, is he just looking for attention? Who is going to sit there and listen to him for 25 hours?
Well, basically, that was just an extended floor speech that accomplished nothing. In fact, I watched many commentators last night say, what was this meant to accomplish? To what end did you break the record of a floor speech? And look, I'm competitive just as the next guy. I once won a chicken wing contest, and I don't really like chicken wings. But breaking records and emotional stunts and blame shifting, that accomplishes nothing. And I am telling you, the American people are ready for real leadership, not just people that call themselves leaders and don't act on that. People like President Trump that will make tough decisions in the best interest of this country and then act on those decisions, just as he did with the northern border, declaring an emergency, trying to stop the flow of illegal immigration and fentanyl and all of the things that have contributed to so many deaths and destruction around this great country.
Well, it's pretty incredible to me what DOJ has been finding out. And is that why Cory Booker is so upset? Because it's exposing the mediocrity that was underway and potentially fraud. I mean, all the people on the Social Security rolls that were above 120 years old. And now you've got also this other issue where illegals, non-citizens were given Social Security numbers. Your reaction to what specifically he's reacting to, or is it the deportation of criminals and rapists?
Well, when asked why he felt the need to do this, and look, he's a nice guy. But again, nice guys and emotional stunts cannot return this country to the security and the greatness that Americans deserve. You have to have leaders that are willing to make the tough choices on behalf of Americans. Yeah. And I think as you are seeing spending, the veil being lifted on the out-of-control, idiotic spending that Americans don't want, as you get back to what is the real danger, what is jeopardizing the safety and security and prosperity of Americans, let's talk about fentanyl. The #1 killer of fighting-age Americans, the rapidly increasing cause of children and babies from exposure to fentanyl. Thankfully, we have a president that's coming in and doing something about it. Meanwhile, you have Cory Booker on the floor of the Senate. He's on Judiciary. They didn't even call a hearing on fentanyl in Judiciary. I've been here 2 months. We got a bill, help fentanyl, discussed and passed out of that Judiciary hearing. We are getting it done. That's what Americans want, and I'm so proud to be a part of this effort led by President Trump.
Well, look, you've had a big night for Republicans in Florida. Trump-backed candidates Randy Fine and Jimmy Patronis both winning their special congressional elections to fill the seats vacated by Matt Gaetz and Michael Waltz. The House majority now up by 2 seats. Trump reacted on Truth Social, saying both Florida House seats have been won big by the Republican candidate. The Trump endorsement has, as always, proved far greater than the Democrats' forces of evil. Congratulations to America. Senator, your reaction to that, but you've got to also couple that with what happened in Wisconsin, which could lead to redistricting and perhaps a change in the House of Representatives there as well, to the other side.
Yeah, look, doesn't surprise me. We had great wins out of Florida. Floridians know and understand that if you have leaders willing to stand strong for conservative policies, they work. Florida is a blueprint for the rest of the nation. I'm hoping that President Trump, a Floridian himself, is going to take that dynamic approach, standing up for conservative leaders and policies and getting it done for the rest of the nation, as we're seeing him do. Now, you've got to watch when you set forth this conservative policy and lay it down in law. You've got to watch that you don't have courts unreasonably or unlawfully trying to stymie that agenda, as we're seeing with President Trump right now. That concerns me out of Wisconsin. But, you know, you did see large turnouts for voter ID and security there. That's a great thing to see. Again, conservative policy works. You just have to have strong leaders willing to make tough decisions and get things done.
Senator, you're introducing a bill which is banning Chinese nationals from obtaining U.S. student visas. The D-N.J accused 5 Chinese nationals studying at the University of Michigan of spying on the U.S. military. And in 2023, nearly 300,000 Chinese students were at American universities, over 100,000 visas given to Chinese nationals that same year. We know that the Chinese Communist Party has exploited and taken advantage of our student visa process. To what extent?
Yeah, and Americans have to understand this. Leading up to the Biden administration, China passed laws that required their nationals to participate in intelligence gathering, help them with matters of national security. They are now required to basically be agents of China, and they are being shipped to our country as students. And we have seen a surge, an explosion over the last few years of those students here on visas, Chinese nationals, required by law to assist in these matters. And they've been arrested for espionage, intelligence gathering, caught red-handed on our bases, gathering information. So it should surprise no one that a report last year showed that their military advances, their hundreds of millions of dollars stolen, went to helping their military. We have to stop this. It's unfortunate, but it must be done, and it must be done now.
I mean, you could look at the student visa situation, but you also could look at the number of Chinese nationals who've come through the wide open border. I mean, the other day, one of my guests said it was 178,000 Chinese nationals that have come through the open border. I mean, obviously, you can't just pick up and leave China. 178,000 people. Are they being directed? And what specifically is the CCP trying to do with all of these students spying on our military installations and now these 178,000? What are they being directed to do in your view?
Again, remember, we caught them with ops that were recruiting these students to come here and do just this, and now they're required by law to be agents of China. We've seen people in Florida arrested on our military bases spying. This has to stop, and thankfully, we now have leaders that are willing to make these tough decisions. It's unfortunate, but for the security and strength of this nation, these decisions must be made, and we must follow through on them.
So you're saying they're trying to understand what kind of weaponry we have? What do you believe they're trying to find out?
Look, they have been caught multiple times on military bases taking pictures of those ports, of machinery. Okay. We know that they've taken hundreds of millions of dollars in intellectual property from our universities. Yes. This must end. These laws are in place. Americans need to know it, and we need to stand up and put America's interests first. Yeah. We cannot shy away because we feel bad. It's unfortunate.
It's concerning.
But we have to put American interests first.
It's concerning. Senator, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks so much.
Great to be with you, Maria.
Moody joining us this morning.